Welcome to Cypress Automation. This is Shurful. This lecture is about assertion in Cypress. We're going to see different type of assertion using should command in Cypress. So before we see some actual example, let's go to Cypress website in their doc. So this is their command. You can see should command over here. So should command is used in Cypress to do all different type of assertion. It depends on what's your situation, but pretty much you can use all different way using this should command in Cypress. What does all of your assertion. You can see the syntax over here, like dot should, then chainers, then chainers values. You will see the method. You will see some example is gonna be make it much more clear. So example, you can use whatever your locator, and then you can use should, and then whatever the assertion you want to apply it, like BMT, be visible. You can see even be visible we have seen. Even you can compare some of your CSS function, like your CSS fonts family. What would be the font size or font family of your CSS? Okay, so that time you can use also, like in this element, what's your CSS font family, right? You can use that should. So also you can use like be disabled, be checked, be selected. All different way you can use should command to do your assertion. Okay, so let's I would say please go through this doc in details so that you have very clear idea about how to should command can be used for your assertion in Cypress. We're going to see some of the example. Let's go to our code. So in a VS Code, so I have already one describe block which is based on Mocha framework. I hope that you understand and if it's not, please watch my previous lecture. It will give you the much better idea regarding the the Mocha frameworks, like a describe block and also the eat block, right? I hope that you have that idea. I don't want to spend time to explain those this format again and again. So here in my eat block, which is my actual test cases, so here my URL, first I'm visiting the website, which is automation codingboxautomation.com/practice. So this is the website. Okay, here we're going to do some of the example. The first, we visit that site, and then we will check the URL over here, right? It's the URL is like codingboxautomationlab.com/practice. How you're going to confirm that it's it's launch that site. I mean the URL is the right, it's went through the that exact the Codingbox Automation Lab, that site. It didn't redirect to any other site. To do this, we can use some assertion. So let's see that. So first here, so this line will visit to the site, and then let's use the should command. Should check, say this is my command. What I'm going to should check correct URL. So you can use sci dot URL. There is a command URL function, you can call that, and then what it does, it's this URL command apply. If you use any URL, visit any website before this command, it will check that command. Okay, it will have this URL idea. Then what do you want to do? You want to should use the should command, and then you want to say how you're gonna verify this URL, this is the right URL. Like over here you got the response about the URL, is that right or wrong. So we can use should command, and as a parameter we can say include. Should include what? We can pass the full URL over here, exactly over here, or the partial. say the first one, just it will compare that. Okay, like say example over here, code box automation lab, instead of putting all the full URL, either you can put the full URL, the codeinboxautomationlab.com/practice, or you can say the partial, say I would say codeinbox, right? So because this codeinbox, it's a, you know, it's a part of this URL, so you know, this is one way you can verify that your URL was you know, the right URL. Okay, so that's one of the way you can do using the shoot command, you know, check your URL whether it's right or wrong. Okay, that's one of them. Save it. And also, before we run, I hope that you know it from my previous lecture, but it's still let's go to the package.json. Over here, you know that we did a customize our script, like, you know, to run the test cases in test runner. You know, instead of we putting put the whole long command, you know, I just use this customize you know, Cypress command, like cy open, you know, so which will be run equals to this Cypress open. It will be run your script on, you know, it will be open test runner, and we can run our test cases through the test runner. Okay, so let's get back to our assertion.js file. So assertion is the .js file I created over where I'm doing all the practice, right? So here, so next is we're going to check. So example, we're going to check one of the element, and we'll confirm that that element is visible. So example, we have a, you know, page title like automation practice. This is a page title, so it's visible. So we're going to confirm this element is visible. Okay, how can we do? So first of all, we have to look at this element, right? So let's look at that element, copy, inspect. So here is the you know, class, so we can use a class. And also, you know, before you put this especially if you use class property or attribute, just to make sure that, you know, it's by using this attribute, it's you know, match with one unique element, not more than one. So how can you do this? If you use crop path, it's very simple. You know, select your crop path, so it's, this is your class, right? So since it's a class, to create a, to make a CSS selector, we put dot and then value of the property, which is this, and hit enter. It will tell you it one element matching, so it's uniquely it matches, and also you can say it's selected this element. So this is the right, you know, CSS selector. So we're going to, so next one, so let's I'm going to create another it function. Let's copy it. This is the second test. So over here, you know, I would say should check the right element, the correct element. So my it function first property, which is the you know, your description of your test cases, like I would say should check the correct element on the page, right? And then function, so this is the second argument in the for it block. And over here, let's remove all those things. So we're going to use what was the CSS selector? This is the CSS selector. So we're going to say site.get and then CSS selector to look at that element, and we're going to say we're going to use should command, and we're going to ensure that it's visible. So that sense where we're going to use b dot visible, right? You can see with the b there's a lot of options. Checked, definitely checked is not applicable for this, you know, just to confirm whether an element is visible or not. You know, it's not empty, enable, it's not like, so it's, there is another also you know, the property of should function, it's you can say visible. So if you type b, you can say visible, right? So you can use visible, we can use visible, right? So that's pretty good. Save it. Okay, so two of them done, and next one we're going to check a length of a property. This would be interesting. So here I think this. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at this element. Let's see what happened. So if you look at this element, okay, this is the HTML code, right? It's reflect this search box. So and here you can see there is a class, right? Search input. So it's a class. Again, as I said, always better to verify your element is a unique. It's match one element if we use the class property. It's because it's class, there is a chance to use multiple times. So class, we're going to say, let's put the value dot, this is the value of the class, and if you hit enter, interestingly you will see it's saying two element matching, even though it's highlighting this search box, but it's still by using the same class there is another element in this page or somewhere. So it means, so there is a two element. If I want to select this this search box, it may not be find this element because maybe the other element is this search this class is using for other element before this search box even. So that's not our intention to find another element. So we are confirmed that using this CSS selector it will find two element. So we're going to see it means each element it's like one, it's in Cypress it's if you consider the length of element, it's considered one. So each element its length is one. So using this CSS selector, it's supposed to confirm, it's supposed to give you the length of the element, which is 2, because we find this 2 element. So let's say that if we can that's what we can do the assertion using the length. So let's copy, so let's create another it block, and this time for it block it will be the text for the it block would be, we'll say what would be should assertion with length, should assertion with length property, should assertion with length property example. Okay, and then here what's our CSS selector? This is the CSS selector. Copy this, see what I get, right, and paste it here, and then we'll say should have, in that case we're going to use the length, right, the length property of the should command. So we'll say should have dot, you can say there's a lot of other options with the have, right, like have value, have text. So you can use, so a lot of other different way or different parameter you can use with the have parameter of should command. So we are going to use should have length. You can see there is a length, right, or you can see there is a length at least, at most, below. There is a lot of options, right? So let's use the simple one, should have length, which is the exactly what should be 2. So this element, this CSS selector, this element supposed to find 2 element. By this CSS selector is supposed to have a 2 element, which is that's why we're saying let's compare it's a length is 2 or not. Okay, so let's save it. What, let's run the program, see this how it goes, right? So to do this, I hope that you remember to run our script in test runner. We are going to use our custom command, so which is npm run sci open, right? Isn't it? Let's see, sci open, yes. So npm run sci open, right? Hit enter. Okay, test runner is launching. Okay, so our file is assertion.js. okay, let's run this file. There you go. You can see the first one, visit code inbox automation site, so it's trying to visit. Okay, the right side you can see the output. It's taking a little bit extra time to load the site. Okay, it's all done, so we can see that output also with comparing our code. So from the left side you can see this this is the the visit URL. So URL is expected. So we're saying, if you remember our code, we're saying we use the should command over here, and we say that in our URL should have code inbox. This this word should be in the part of URL. So that's why it found it, and it says it's expected was matched with the actual result. And the second one should check the correct element. So it was the finding the page title automation practice, this one, right? And we're saying it should be visible, and it's found it is a visible. That's fine. And the third one, it's as you said, okay, by this CSS selector, this CSS selector, we're expecting to have a length of 2, and it's saying it's found length of 2, and that's why it's passed, right? So you can see here, if you just put our cursor on the left hand side on the script, it's highlight this box. It's a highlight this box, but it's found 2 element. That's why it's said it's passed. Okay, awesome. Just minimize it. Let's back to a couple of more example of should command. Okay, next let's copy the same the format, another 8 blocks, or this time we'll update this block. This time what we're going to do, same page, we're going to say this button open window. Let's spy this open window, this one. So this is this button, it has a text. You can see open window text. Let's verify to confirm this element have a text, whether it has a text open window or not. This text is present or not. We're going to verify it. How we can do this? So it has an ID. Let's use the ID. If it's an ID, pretty much you can confirm, you can assume that this is a unique element, so you don't need to verify. So we're going to use ID. So we're going to change our title of the test case. So we'll say should check, let's say should assertion with text of an element, right? Okay, and here we're going to, let's update this, CY, it's an ID, right? So we're going to use, to look at that button, we're going to use ID CY get this dot. What we're saying it should have text, have dot. Let's use that there is a text also parameter, should have text, what should have text, let's comma, and then you put your expected the text. What's your expected text? It's open window. Let's copy it from here, even open window, and then paste it here. Okay, and save it. Okay, if you save it, and it will automatically, if your window is still open, it'll automatically start to run. Let's run it. Assertion. Oh, I think it's still open. Let's run it. Stop it and then now run it. Okay. It's taking a little bit. Okay, here we go. The last one, I'm not going to explain the first three because I already explained it and we already see this and we can see it. It's all of them are passing, right? So this one, it's saying should assert with text of element. So this is the element. You can see the output here. If you move your on the script, your mouse, so you can see it's selected open window, this button, right? This button was selected, and then we're saying to have the text open window, and it's pass. It's automatically it is able to find it. It has the text which is open window, and that's why it said assertion is pass, right? So let's minimize it. Okay, and let's see probably a couple of more example. The next one, we're going to say, let's copy this it block, and here the next one, what we can do, we can check where is the, here we can say how about the checkbox, right? So how about we check this option 3, and then we also confirm that the box was checked, because you can check it, you find the element and you can check it, but how are you going to confirm that it was actually checked? So again, we can use should command to do the assertion, and the assertion, should command, it has one of the properties which is be checked. So that argument or property will help, parameter will help you to define that this element was whether checked or not. If it's checked, it will pass. If it's not, it will fail. So let's first find this checkbox, uncheck it, right? Find this checkbox again. So here we're going to use ID, which is the safest one. So we're going to update over here the it block. Okay, we're going to say should check option 3, right? Should check for option 3, should check for option 3, and then function will say what's the ID. So let's change the ID. Here is the ID, and then we're going to say should, so before, so we have to check this box. So this is the, it will detect, will find the element, then let's check it. So to check it, so we'll use the check function, check method, and then we're going to use the should to do the assertion to ensure the box was checked. So it will be should be dot checked. We can use this time, it makes more sense to use the checked parameter instead of like visible, because it's not our, we have to confirm that this checkbox it's enabled to check, right? So this will help you to assert, to confirm that that this box was checked, right? Save it, and let's do one more, and then we'll run once again all of them, right? And the third one, so let's copy the block once again, it block, and then here we're going to say select, let's go here, what we can do, where is the drop down? Okay, drop down, let's select the APM. So select from this static drop down the APM option, and we have to confirm that it was selected, right? It was selected, the APM one, whatever the option. So if we go here, let's go back to, so first we have to locate the box, right? So go here. So here is ID. Again, we found the ID. We can use this ID to locate the box. So here, let's update over here. Should the test case title would be, say, should select for APM from Dropdown, right? And then here, let's remove this. And what is the ID, right? So let's find the element using ID. So ID Dropdown, okay, and then so you have to, so it will find that drop-down box, will not able to select your option. So to select our option, what's our option we're looking for? We're looking for APM, right? So if you see, here is the result, right? When I select APM, for APM, this is the APM, right? So we have to, you know, one of the unique property or attribute is value, and values, this values, you know, value is the property value is option 2. So we are going to use this option 2 for our assertion, but before that we have to select. So we are going to say select, there is the text is APM, there is a select command that's help you to select any static drop down option in Cypress. So this is called the select command, and then pass the argument, or parameter. So what's your parameter? The parameter, it's APM text. And now we're going to, so what this part will do, this will find the box, right? And this will select the APM option. Now we're going to confirm whether it was selected APM or not, right? So we're going to use should command, and then should command we can use, we'll use a parameter like should have, because here you can see for APM all of them, only the unique parameter, which is the value. So for APM, the value have the value is option 2. So we can use value, should have value. You can say have, option is value. What's the value should be? Should be option 2, right? So let's pass the exact option. So option 2, it means it's APM. So if this part able to select the APM, and this part will able to confirm that this was selected, option was the APM, because option 2, the value of option 2 is APM. Okay, so pretty much save it. Let's run once again. I think I keep opened, I think Cypress, yep, the test runner I kept open. So let's run it once again. Assertion. Okay, let's launch the site. Awesome, you can see all of it was so quick. So let's check the last couple of options, because we already covered the, I think, the top 4 of them. So it was should check for option 3. So in the checkbox, we selected option 3, and we confirmed that it was checked, whether it was checked the option 3 or not. And this code, it's confirmed, and the output you can see it was checked, and also it says assertion was passed. So it means the checkbox, the option 3 was checked. And then let's next go to this one. This one is a drop down, right? From the drop down you can see it's selected already APM, so it means it was able to find the drop down box, and then it was select this code was able to select. You can see before and after reflect on the right side. If you just put it over here, you can see this here it shows the this drop down option. So it was selected APM, and then this code was able to also find that it was selected APM, and that's why it said this assertion is passed. Okay, so pretty much that's all for this tutorial. We try to use as much as many examples to show you and give you some clear idea using the shoot command to do your assertion. But there's a lots of other way to use shoot command. It's so that's why I would recommend you go to Cypress official website and see other use cases of shoot command. Thanks a lot, and stay tuned. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe our channel. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.